The alarm bells rang through the Earth Defense Force Command Center. Captain Jake Morrison sat up straight in his chair as the emergency signal flashed red on his screen. He had never seen this code before. It meant total disaster. "What is it?" Morrison asked his communications officer. "Signal from Centauri colony, sir. It's bad." Morrison pressed a button and heard the voice of Governor Steve Campbell. The man sounded terrified. His words came through broken and full of static. "Earth Command, this is Centauri colony. We are under attack. Repeat, we are under attack. The Zephyrians are here. They have 15 ships, maybe more. They want us to surrender, or they will destroy everyone. We have 48 hours. Please, help us, please." The message ended. Morrison stared at the screen. The Zephyrians had found them. For 10 years, the Zephyrian Empire had been like a monster eating the galaxy. They started with small worlds, peaceful planets that could not fight back. The Zephyrians would arrive with huge fleets of warships. They would tell the people to surrender or die. Most planets gave up without a fight. Those who tried to resist were destroyed completely. The Zephyrians did not just defeat their enemies. They wiped them out. Men, women, children, everyone. They turned planets into dead rocks, floating in space. War. Commander Vexter led their largest fleet. He was known across the galaxy as the Butcher of Altair. On that world, 2 million people had tried to hide in underground cities. Vexter used special bombs that went deep into the ground. No one survived. Morrison called Admiral Kate Sullivan right away. She was the head of all Earth's military forces. When her face appeared on the screen, Morrison saw that she already knew about Centauri. "How bad is it?" he asked. 50,000 people, Sullivan said. All civilians. Farmers, teachers, doctors. They have no weapons that could stop a single Zephyrian fighter, let alone a whole fleet. What about our battle groups? Sullivan shook her head. Battle Group Alpha is in the Vega sector, 6 weeks away at best speed. Battle Group Beta is exploring the far rim. They are even further out. Battle Group Gamma is protecting the Mars colonies after those pirate attacks last month. Morrison felt sick. "So we have nothing?" "We have one ship in range, the USS Defiant." Morrison knew that name. The Defiant was new. She had never been in a real fight. She was still being tested. One ship against a Zephyrian battle fleet? That's not a rescue mission. That's suicide. "I know," Sullivan said, "but it's all we have." Commander Alex Turner was eating lunch when the call came. He was the captain of the USS Defiant. At 35 years old, he was one of the youngest ship captains in the Earth Defense Force. His ship was special, but he had never had the chance to prove it in battle. "Captain," his first officer said, "Admiral Sullivan wants to speak with you. Priority 1. Turner put down his food and walked to the bridge. His crew was already there, looking worried. Lieutenant Commander Lisa Hayes stood next to his chair. She was his second in command. Chief Engineer Ben Parker was at his station, checking the ship's systems. Tactical Officer Sam Rodriguez watched the weapon controls. When Sullivan's face appeared on the main screen, Turner knew this was serious. "Commander Turner," she said, "I have a mission for you. Centauri colony is under attack by the Zephyrians. They have 48 hours before the enemy destroys them all." Turner felt his heart stop. His sister Ellen lived on Centauri with her husband and 2 children. She had moved there 3 years ago to start a new life as a farmer. "What are my orders?" he asked. "Get to Centauri as fast as you can. Do whatever it takes to save those people." "How many enemy ships?" "Intelligence says at least 15 heavy cruisers and 8 dreadnoughts, plus fighters." The bridge went quiet. Everyone knew what those numbers meant. The biggest battle in Earth's history had been against 3 enemy ships. They had barely won that fight. "Sir," Hayes said quietly, "those odds are impossible." Turner looked at his crew. These people trusted him. They had trained together for 2 years. Now he was about to lead them into a battle they could not win. "I know," he said, "but those are our people down there. My sister Ellen is on that planet with her family. We're the only ones who can help them." Dr. Nina Walsh, the science officer, spoke up. "Captain, the Defiant has new technology. Systems that have never been tested in combat. Maybe we have a chance." "What kind of chance?" Rodriguez asked. "I don't know," Walsh said. "But our ship is different from anything else in space. The Zephyrians have never fought anything like us before." Turner made his decision. "Set course for Centauri. Maximum speed." "Sir," Parker said from his engineering station, "if we push the quantum drive to full power, we can get there in 18 hours. Do it." As the Defiant jumped into hyperspace, Turner thought about Ellen. She had always been the brave one in the family. When they were kids, she would stand up to bullies twice her size. Now she was trapped on a planet with 50,000 other people, waiting for death to come from the stars. The Zephyrians had never lost a battle. Their ships were huge and powerful. Their weapons could destroy cities with one shot. They had conquered 12 star systems and killed billions of people. But they had never fought humans before. Turner looked at his crew working at their stations. Hayes was planning their approach to the Centauri system. Rodriguez was checking every weapon on the ship. Parker was making sure the engines would not fail them when they needed speed most. Walsh was studying everything they knew about Zephyrian technology. "Captain," Hayes said, "I've been thinking about our approach. If we come in fast and hit them hard, we might be able to surprise them. One ship surprising an entire fleet?" Rodriguez shook his head. "They'll see us coming from 1,000,000 miles away." "Maybe," Turner said, "but they won't expect us to attack. They'll think we're running away or trying to surrender. That might give us a few seconds." "A few seconds against those odds won't be enough," Parker said. Turner smiled. It was not a happy smile. "Then we'll have to make those seconds count." The USS Defiant raced through hyperspace toward a battle that would change everything. Behind them, Earth waited for news. Ahead of them, 50,000 people counted down their last hours of life. War Commander Vexter stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking at the small blue and green planet below. Centauri was beautiful. It would be a shame to destroy it. But the humans had to learn their place in the galaxy. "Sir," his tactical officer said, "the humans have not responded to our demands. How much time do they have left?" 36 hours, sir." Vexter nodded. "Begin the demonstration. Destroy their orbital stations. Show them what happens to those who defy the Empire." 3 bright flashes lit up the space around Centauri as the orbital stations died. On the planet below, 50,000. People looked up at the sky and saw their death approaching. The USS Defiant moved through hyperspace faster than any ship had ever traveled before. The stars outside looked like long lines of light as the quantum drive pushed the ship to its limits. Captain Turner stood on the bridge, watching the time count down. 16 hours until they reached Centauri. 34 hours until the Zephyrians destroyed everything. "How are the engines holding up?" Turner asked Chief Engineer Parker. "Better than expected, sir. This quantum drive is amazing. We're moving 3 times faster than our old ships could go." Turner nodded. Speed was good, but it would not be enough. They needed something more to fight an entire enemy fleet. "All senior officers to the briefing room," Turner announced. "We need to talk." 5 minutes later, Turner sat across from his top crew members. Lieutenant Commander Hayes, his first officer, had her datapad ready. Tactical Officer Rodriguez looked worried. Chief Parker seemed excited about something. Dr. Walsh, the science officer, had a thick folder of papers. "Before we reach Centauri," Turner said, "you all need to know what this ship really is." Hayes raised an eyebrow. "Sir? The Defiant isn't just a regular cruiser. She's been built with technology that no one else has. Not even the other Earth. Ships know about this." Dr. Walsh opened her folder. "Captain, should I explain the systems?" "Do it." Walsh stood up and activated a wall screen. A picture of the Defiant appeared, but it looked different. The ship had strange blue lines running along its hull. "The Defiant has 3 special systems," Walsh began. "First, adaptive shielding. Our shields don't just block attacks, they learn from them. Every time an enemy weapon hits us, our shields get better at stopping that kind of weapon." Rodriguez leaned forward. "So if they shoot us with plasma cannons, our shields learn to block." "Plasma better?" "Exactly. And the more they shoot us, the stronger we get against their weapons." Hayes looked confused. "How is that possible?" "Quantum computers," Walsh said. "They process information faster than anything we've ever built. They can analyze an enemy attack and change our shield frequency in milliseconds." Turner pointed to the screen. "What about the weapons?" Walsh pressed a button, and the ship's weapons appeared. Second system, quantum torpedoes. These don't just explode when they hit something. They can phase through enemy shields, like the shields aren't even there. "Phase through?" Parker asked. "How?" "They exist in multiple dimensions at once. Enemy shields can only block attacks in normal space. Our torpedoes can go around them through quantum space." Rodriguez smiled for the first time in hours. "That's incredible." "What else?" "Kinetic railguns," Walsh continued. "They fire solid metal projectiles at almost the speed of light. No shield in the galaxy can stop something moving that fast." Turner stood up. "Show them the third system." Walsh hesitated. "Sir, are you sure? This information is classified at the highest level. They need to know what they're fighting with." Walsh pressed another button. The picture of the Defiant changed. Again, this time, parts of the ship seemed to be moving and reshaping themselves. The third system is programmable matter hull. The ship can repair itself during battle. More than that, it can change its shape to become more effective in combat. The room went silent. Hayes stared at the screen. "The ship can change shape?" "The hull is made of millions of tiny machines called nanobots. They can move around and rebuild damaged sections in seconds. They can also create new armor designed specifically to stop whatever weapons are shooting at us." Parker shook his head in amazement. "I've been working on this ship for 6 months, and I never knew it could do that." "The nanobots are controlled by the same quantum computers that run the shields," Walsh explained. "The ship essentially learns how to fight better while it's fighting." Turner looked at each of his officers. "This is why Admiral Sullivan sent us alone. The Defiant isn't just another warship. She's something completely new, something the Zephyrians have never seen before." "But sir," Hayes said, "these systems have never been tested in real combat. What if they don't work? Then we die like heroes." Turner said simply, "But if they do work, we might actually have a chance." On Centauri, Governor Campbell stood in the colony's command center, trying to keep calm. Outside the windows, he could see people loading vehicles with their most important belongings. Some families were trying to leave the planet, but there were not enough ships for everyone. "Governor," said Chief Santos, the head of colony defense, "we've got panic starting in Sector 7. People are fighting over space on the transport ships." Campbell rubbed his tired eyes. "How many people can we evacuate?" "Maybe 5,000 if we pack the ships full. That leaves 45,000 people with nowhere to go." "And our defenses?" Santos laughed, but it was not a happy sound. "We have 12 small fighters and some ground-based missile launchers. Against a Zephyrian battle fleet, we might as well throw rocks at them. Campbell looked at the display showing enemy ships in orbit. They looked like giant metal sharks circling their prey. Any word from Earth? They sent one ship. The USS Defiant? One. Ship? Campbell felt his hope die. Against all of that? It's all they had in range, sir. Campbell thought about his wife and daughter. They were safe on Earth, but these colonists were his responsibility. 50,000 people who had come, here to build new lives. Now they would all die because of his decision to establish a colony so far from Earth's protection. Sir, Santos said quietly, the Zephyrian commander is broadcasting again. Campbell activated the communication system. War Commander Vexter's alien face appeared on the screen. He looked like a cross between a lizard and a shark, with cold yellow eyes and rows of sharp teeth. Humans of Centauri, Vexter said in perfect English. You have 28 hours to surrender completely. Lay down any weapons you have. Gather in your largest city. Anyone who tries to hide will be hunted down and killed slowly. The message continued. Your pathetic Earth has sent one small ship to rescue you. We find this amusing. Soon you will watch this ship die in space. Then you will understand that resistance is hopeless. The transmission ended. Campbell stared. At the blank screen, one ship. Earth had sent one ship to save 50,000 people. Sir, Santos said, what are your orders? Campbell thought for a long moment. Tell the people the truth. One Earth ship is coming to help us. It might not be enough, but at least someone is trying. And if the ship fails, then we'll face the end with dignity. High above the planet, War Commander Vexter studied the tactical display showing the approaching human vessel. His intelligence officers had analyzed the ship's design. It appeared to be a standard cruiser, nothing special. Commander, his tactical officer said, the human ship will arrive in 15 hours. Excellent. When it arrives, we will destroy it slowly. I want the colonists below to watch their rescuers die. It will break their spirit completely. Vexter had conquered 47 worlds. He had seen every type of courage and every form of resistance. They all ended the same way. The strong survived by serving the Empire. The weak died. These humans would learn this lesson soon enough. The USS Defiant continued its impossible journey through hyperspace, carrying the hopes of 50,000 people and technology that might change the galaxy forever. In 15 hours, the most uneven battle in galactic history would begin. The USS Defiant dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Centauri system. Captain Turner stood on the bridge, looking at the tactical display. What he saw made his blood run cold. 23 enemy warships surrounded the planet, each Zephyrian. Vessel was 3 times larger than the Defiant. Their flagship was massive, like a floating city made of dark metal and weapons. My God, whispered Lieutenant Commander Hayes. Look at the size of them. Chief Engineer Parker checked his systems. Captain, all our special systems are online and ready. The quantum computers are already analyzing the enemy ships. Turner took a deep breath. Open a channel to the Zephyrian flagship. The main screen flickered, and War Commander Vexter appeared. The alien leader looked at Turner with amusement, like a cat looking at a mouse. So, Vexter said, Earth sends one tiny ship to challenge the might of the Zephyrian Empire. How wonderfully stupid. Turner stood straight and spoke in a calm voice. This is Commander Alex Turner of the United Earthship Defiant. You are in human space without permission. I order you to withdraw immediately. Vexter laughed. It was a horrible sound, like metal scraping against stone. You order me? Little human, I have destroyed entire star systems. Your pathetic ship will burn like all the others. I'm giving you one chance. Turner said. "Leave now, or face the consequences." The alien commander's eyes grew angry. "You dare threaten me? I will make your death slow and painful. Your colonists below will watch you die and know that resistance is hopeless." The communication ended. Turner turned to his crew. "Battle stations. All hands prepare for combat." Red lights flashed throughout the ship. The crew moved quickly to their positions. Everyone knew this was a fight. They were not supposed to win. "6 enemy cruisers are moving to attack us," reported Rodriguez from the tactical station. "They're coming in fast." Turner sat in his command chair. "Let them come. Dr. Walsh, are our adaptive shields ready?" "Yes, sir." "The quantum computers are running full analysis on enemy weapon signatures." The first Zephyrian attack came like a wall of fire. 6 heavy cruisers fired their main plasma cannons at the same time. The space around the Defiant lit up with deadly energy. The crew waited for the explosion that would end their lives. Instead, something amazing happened. The ship's shields absorbed the plasma fire and glowed brighter. The energy that should have destroyed them made them stronger. "Shields holding at 120%, Hayes reported in amazement. "Sir, they're actually stronger than before the attack." Dr. Walsh studied her readings. The quantum computers analyzed the plasma signatures and adjusted our shield frequency. We're now partially immune to their main weapons. War Commander Vexter stared at his tactical display. "What happened? Why is that ship still intact?" "Unknown, sir," his weapons officer replied. "Our plasma cannons hit directly. The ship should be destroyed. Fire again. All cruisers, maximum. Power." The second attack was even stronger than the first. 12 plasma cannons fired at once, creating enough energy to destroy a small moon. Again, the Defiant's shields absorbed the attack and grew stronger. "Shields now at 140%, Hayes announced. "Captain, our shields are evolving." Turner smiled grimly. "Time to show them what we can do." Rodriguez, target. The lead cruiser. Fire quantum torpedoes. "Firing now, sir." 2 blue streaks of light shot from the Defiant toward the nearest enemy ship. The Zephyrians watched in confusion as the torpedoes seemed to pass right through their shields without touching them. Then the torpedoes exploded. Inside the enemy hull, the Zephyrian cruiser broke apart like a toy. Pieces of metal and fire scattered through space. In seconds, a ship that had terrorized the galaxy was nothing but debris. "Impossible," Baxter whispered. "How did their weapons go through our shields?" Turner opened communications again. "That's 1 down, 22 to go. Last chance to surrender." The alien commander's face twisted with rage. "All ships, attack formation. Destroy that human vessel now." The entire Zephyrian fleet moved toward the Defiant. Their ships spread out in an attack pattern that had conquered dozens of worlds. Hundreds of weapons turned toward the single human ship. "Here they come," Rodriguez said. "All enemy ships are targeting us?" Turner looked at his crew. These brave people had followed him into an impossible battle. Now they were about to face the full power of the galaxy's most feared fleet. "Hold steady," he said. "Trust the ship. Trust each other." The Zephyrians opened fire with everything they had. Plasma cannons, particle beams, missile launchers, and energy weapons Turner had never seen before. The space around Centauri became a storm of destruction. The Defiant disappeared inside a ball of enemy fire. On the planet below, 50,000 colonists watched in horror as their only hope seemed to vanish in the flames. But when the fire cleared, the Defiant was still there. Her shields glowed like a small sun, but she was intact and fighting. "Shields at 160%, Hayes reported. "The quantum computers are learning from every attack." Dr. Walsh checked her readings. "Captain, the ship is doing something incredible. It's not just blocking their attacks. It's using the enemy energy to power our own systems. Turner stood up. Then let's give them something to really worry about. Rodriguez, fire all weapons. Parker, give me everything the engines have. The Defiant struck back with fury. Quantum torpedoes phased through enemy shields and exploded inside Zephyrian hulls. Kinetic railguns fired solid projectiles that punched through alien armor like paper. In 30 seconds, 3 more enemy ships were destroyed. Sir, Parker called from engineering, the hull is starting to change. The nanobots are reshaping our armor. Turner looked at the hull display. The ship's surface was flowing like liquid metal, creating new armor plates designed specifically to stop Zephyrian weapons. What had started as a standard cruiser was becoming something new. Commander Vexter could not believe what he was seeing. 4 of his ships were destroyed, and the human vessel was getting stronger with every attack. What kind of ship is that? He demanded. His science officer studied the readings. Commander, their technology is unlike anything we've encountered. Their shields adapt to our weapons. Their hull is changing shape. It's as if the ship is learning how to fight us. Impossible. No species has technology like that. Sir, should we retreat? Vexter's pride would not let him run from a single enemy ship. Never. Bring all dreadnoughts to bear. If normal weapons won't work, we'll ram them. Order 3 cruisers to make suicide runs. 3 damaged Zephyrian ships turned toward the Defiant, their crews willing to die for the glory of the Empire. They accelerated to maximum speed, planning to crash into the human vessel. Turner watched them coming. Point defense systems engage. The Defiant's defensive weapons came online. Dozens of small guns fired with perfect accuracy, hitting critical systems on the approaching ships. The 3 suicide vessels exploded before they could reach their target. 7 ships down, Rodriguez reported. 16 to go. Turner looked. At the tactical display, they were winning. Against all odds, a single human ship was defeating the most powerful fleet in the galaxy. But the battle was far from over. The Zephyrian dreadnoughts were moving into position, their massive weapons, charging for a final attack. The 8 Zephyrian dreadnoughts moved forward like giant metal mountains. Each one was 10 times larger than the Defiant. Their main weapons were designed to destroy entire cities with a single shot. War Commander Vexter watched from his flagship as his most powerful ships prepared to end this impossible battle. All dreadnoughts target the human ship, he ordered. Fire everything at once. Nothing can survive that much firepower. Captain Turner stood on the bridge of the Defiant, watching the massive enemy ships approach. His crew worked at their stations with calm efficiency. They had seen their ship do impossible things. Now they trusted it completely. 8 dreadnoughts powering up their main guns, Rodriguez reported. Energy readings are off the charts, sir. Dr. Walsh checked her instruments. Captain, if they all fire together, the energy will be 20 times stronger than anything we've faced so far. Turner nodded. Our shields have been learning from every attack. Let's see how much they've learned. Chief Engineer Parker watched his displays as the ship's hull continued to change. The nanobots were working faster now, reshaping the Defiant into something that looked more like a work of art than a warship. Smooth curves replaced sharp edges. New armor sections grew where they were needed most. Sir, Parker said in amazement, the ship is becoming something incredible. The hull is now 3 times stronger than when we started fighting. The dreadnoughts fired. 8 beams of pure destruction struck the Defiant at the same moment. The energy was enough to crack a planet in half. Space itself seemed to bend around the impact point. On Centauri below, the colonists saw a new sun appear in their sky. For 10 seconds, the Defiant vanished inside a ball of enemy fire, so bright it hurt to look at. Then slowly the light faded. The human ship was still there. Not only was she intact, but she looked different. The hull gleamed like polished silver. New weapon ports had opened along her sides. She was larger than before, as if the enemy attack had fed her growth. "Shields at 200% and climbing," Hayes announced. "The quantum computers have fully adapted to Zephyrian technology." Dr. Walsh stared at her readings. "Captain, the ship has used the energy from their attack to power a complete transformation. We're not the same vessel that entered this system." Turner smiled. "Then let's show them what we've become. All weapons fire at will." The Defiant unleashed Hell-Dot quantum torpedoes launched in groups of 6, each one targeting a different enemy. Ship. The torpedoes had evolved too, becoming faster and more deadly. They phased through Zephyrian shields like they were made of air dot. The kinetic railguns fired continuously, sending streams of metal projectiles at near light speed. But these weren't the same simple projectiles from before. The ship's computers had designed each one to target specific weaknesses in Zephyrian hull design. New weapons emerged from the transformed hull. Energy beams that could cut through the thickest armor. Pulse cannons that disrupted enemy electronics. Missile launchers that fired smart projectiles capable of chasing their targets. One by one, the mighty dreadnoughts began to die. The first one lost its main reactor when 3 quantum torpedoes materialized inside its engine room. The ship went dark and began to drift. The second dreadnought tried to turn away, but kinetic projectiles punched through its bridge, killing the command crew instantly. The third attempted to return fire, but the Defiant's new energy beams sliced off its weapon arrays before it could shoot. War Commander Vexter watched in growing terror as his unstoppable fleet was systematically destroyed by a single human vessel. "This is impossible," he whispered. "No ship can do this." His tactical officer's voice shook with fear. "Commander, we've lost 12 ships. The human vessel appears to be getting stronger with each battle." "How is that possible?" "Unknown, sir. Their technology is beyond our understanding." On the bridge of the Defiant, Turner watched as another enemy dreadnought exploded in a ball of fire. The ship's quantum computers were processing battle data faster than any organic mind could comprehend. Every enemy weakness was cataloged and exploited. "Sir," Dr. Walsh reported, "the ship's learning systems have reached full efficiency. We now have complete tactical superiority over Zephyrian technology." "Meaning what, exactly?" Turner asked. "Meaning we can predict their moves before they make them. Our weapons know exactly where to hit for maximum damage. Our shields can stop anything they have." Rodriguez looked up from his tactical station. "Captain, the remaining enemy ships are trying to retreat." Turner shook his head. "They came here to destroy innocent people. They don't get to leave and try again somewhere else." The Defiant moved through space like a hunting shark. Her engines, powered by absorbed enemy energy, pushed her faster than any Zephyrian ship could run. One by one, she caught the fleeing vessels and destroyed them. Each victory made her stronger. Each destroyed enemy ship provided more data for her quantum computers to process. The Defiant was learning not just how to fight Zephyrians, but how to fight anyone who threatened innocent lives. War Commander Vexter found himself alone. His flagship, the only surviving ship of what had once been the Empire's most powerful fleet. Around him floated the wreckage of 22 warships, each one destroyed by the impossible human vessel. "Sir," his communications officer said quietly, "the human ship is approaching." Vexter looked at the tactical display. The Defiant was moving toward them slowly, like a predator that knew its prey had nowhere to run. "All weapons fire," he ordered desperately. His flagship's remaining guns fired at the approaching human ship. A plasma beam struck the Defiant's shields and simply disappeared, absorbed and converted to power the ship's systems. Turner opened a communication channel to the enemy flagship. War Commander Vexter, your fleet is destroyed. Your weapons cannot harm us. You have one choice left. The alien commander appeared on the main screen. His face showed a mixture of rage and fear. What choice is that, human? Surrender. I'll let you live to carry a message back to your empire. The Zephyrian Empire does not surrender to inferior species. Turner's voice remained calm. You're not surrendering to an inferior species. You're surrendering to a superior one. The Defiant fired a single quantum torpedo. It materialized inside the flagship's weapon systems and exploded, destroying every gun on the ship. The mighty dreadnought was now helpless, drifting in space without weapons or engines. Your ship is disabled, Turner said. Your crew is alive. Take this message to your empire. The age of Zephyrian terror is over. Any attack on innocent worlds will be met with swift justice. Vexter stared at the human captain. In all his years of conquest, he had never been defeated. Now his entire fleet was gone, destroyed by a single enemy vessel. How? He asked quietly. How did you do this? Turner smiled. We learned. That's what humans do best. We learn, we adapt, and we protect those who cannot protect themselves. The communication ended. Turner turned to his crew. Send a message to Centauri. Tell them they're safe. Then set course for Earth. Below on the planet, 50,000 colonists looked up at the sky and cheered. The impossible had happened. One human ship had defeated an entire alien fleet. The galaxy would never be the same. War Commander Vexter's flagship drifted helplessly in space, its weapons destroyed and engines dead. The proud Zephyrian commander sat in his command chair, staring at the wreckage of his once mighty fleet. 22 ships reduced to floating. Debris by a single human vessel. Captain Turner watched the disabled enemy ship on his main screen. The Defiant had changed during the battle. She was now larger, sleeker, and more powerful than any warship in the galaxy. Her hull gleamed like polished silver, and new weapon systems had grown from her transformed structure. Captain, Lieutenant. Commander Hayes said softly, what do we do with him? Turner thought for a moment. It would be easy to destroy the flagship and end the threat completely. But that would make him no different from the aliens who destroyed helpless worlds. Open a channel, he ordered. Vexter's face appeared on the screen. The alien warrior looked defeated, but not broken. Have you come to gloat over your victory? Human, no, Turner replied. I've come to offer you something your people never gave their enemies. Mercy. The Zephyrian commander's eyes widened in surprise. Mercy? Your ship will be repaired enough to return to your empire. You will carry a message to your leaders. What message? Turner stood up and spoke in a clear, strong voice. The Zephyrian Empire will no longer attack defenseless worlds. Any ship that threatens innocent people will be destroyed. The galaxy now has protectors. Vexter laughed bitterly. You think one ship can police the entire galaxy? The Empire has thousands of vessels. Then send them, Turner said calmly. Each one that attacks innocent people will be destroyed. We have learned how to fight your technology. We can build more ships like this one. The alien commander studied Turner's face and saw no boasting, no empty threats, only quiet certainty. You would really let me go? Vexter asked. Your crew did their duty as soldiers. They don't deserve to die for following orders. But if you return to attack innocent worlds, there will be no mercy next time. Turner nodded to Chief Engineer Parker, who began repairs on the enemy flagship's basic systems. Enough to get them home, but not enough to be a threat. On Centauri, the celebrations had been going on for hours. Governor Campbell stood in the colony's main square, surrounded by thousands of happy colonists. Children who had been hiding in fear were now playing games and laughing. "Governor," Chief Santos said, "we're getting reports from all over the galaxy. The news of the battle is spreading faster than light." Campbell looked up at the sky, where the debris of the Zephyrian fleet still glowed like fallen stars. "What kind of reports?" "Worlds that have been hiding from the Zephyrians are coming out of communication silence. The Altarian Republic is sending messages of thanks. The vegan traders want to establish diplomatic relations with Earth." Campbell smiled. "One battle changed everything. Sir, there's more. We're detecting ships approaching the system. Dozens of them." Campbell felt a moment of fear. "Zephyrian reinforcements?" "No, sir. They're from different species. Worlds that were conquered by the Zephyrians. They're coming to see if the reports are true." High above the planet, the USS Defiant received the approaching ships. Captain Turner stood on his bridge, watching the tactical display fill with vessels from across the galaxy. Each ship represented a world that had lived in fear of Zephyrian conquest. "Captain," Dr. Walsh reported, "we're receiving over 200 communication requests. Everyone wants to talk to us." Turner smiled. "Answer them all. Let them know that Earth stands ready to help any world threatened by aggressors." The next few hours were filled with messages of gratitude, requests for protection, and offers of alliance. Species that had never worked together were talking about forming a coalition for mutual defense. Meanwhile, War Commander Vexthur's repaired flagship began its long journey back to the Zephyrian homeworld. The alien commander sat alone in his quarters, writing his report to the High Command. How could he explain that the Empire's greatest fleet had been destroyed by a single enemy ship? 3 weeks later, Vexthur stood before the Zephyrian High Council. The massive chamber was filled with the Empire's most powerful leaders. War Commander Zektar, the supreme military leader, read the battle report with growing disbelief. "You claim this human ship could adapt to our weapons?" Zektar asked. "Yes, sir. Each attack made their shield stronger. Their hull changed shape during battle. They possess technology we have never encountered." "And you recommend we avoid human space?" Vexthur straightened his shoulders. "Sir, I recommend we avoid attacking any world under their protection. These humans fight differently than us. They don't conquer for glory or resources. They fight to protect others." The council chamber fell silent. The Zephyrian Empire had built its power on the fear of other species. Now, for the first time in decades, they faced an enemy they could not defeat. "What do you suggest?" Zektar asked quietly. "We could try to make peace, trade instead of conquest. The humans showed mercy when they could have destroyed us completely. Some council members hissed in anger at the suggestion of peace, but others nodded thoughtfully. The Empire had many enemies now. Perhaps it was time to try a different path. Back on Earth, Admiral Sullivan stood in the command center, reading reports from across the galaxy. The battle at Centauri had changed everything. Dozens of worlds were asking for Earth's protection. Former enemies were requesting peace talks. Captain Turner appeared on the main screen, calling from the Defiant as she patrolled near the outer colonies. "Admiral," he said, "we're getting requests for help from 17 different star systems. All of them are being threatened by various aggressive species." Sullivan nodded. "The Defiant has proven that our new technology works. We're already building 5 more ships like yours. Within a year, we'll have a fleet capable of protecting our allies. What about the Zephyrians?" "Intelligence reports suggest they're having internal debates about changing their expansion policies. Your mercy toward Vexthur seems to have made an impression." Turner looked thoughtful. "Good. Maybe we can have peace instead of endless war." "Either way," Sullivan said, "the galaxy knows that Earth will protect innocent worlds. The age of unopposed aggression is over." The transmission ended and Turner returned to his duties. Outside the bridge windows, stars glittered peacefully in the darkness. But now they represented something different than before. They were no longer points of light in an uncaring universe. They were worlds under protection, species working together, and hope for a better future. The USS Defiant continued her patrol, no longer just a single ship on a desperate mission. She was the first of a new kind of warship, designed not for conquest but for protection. Behind her came others, each one carrying the same message to the galaxy. The strong would no longer prey upon the weak. The age of terror was ending. The age of protection had begun. On worlds across the galaxy, beings of 100 different species looked up at their night skies and felt something they had not known in years. Safety, hope, the knowledge that somewhere, among the stars, humans were watching and ready to help. The galaxy would never be the same. And that was exactly what humanity intended.